Most people are growing tomatoes in the greenhouse, but I'm going to go for something a little bit bigger. At 9,000 feet, we don't really get enough warm days to grow trees outside other than aspens and evergreens. So I'm going to grow some trees inside. This little tree in the pot is a fig tree. It's a fast grower and will eventually grow to provide shade for our greenhouse. Needless to say, outside we cannot control the weather and our very long cold winters, but inside is a different story. And not just because of the temperature control, because of the dome shape. Inside the growing dome, the center is 16 feet high. So that effectively is what is allowing us to be able to grow small and dwarf trees. So right now we just picked a couple of select varieties, a fig tree for starters, because it's a fast grower, and as you can see, it can become very large and provide quite a bit of shade and cooling for inside of the grow dome. And then the other one that I picked out to start with is a cherry tree. Not a traditional choice, but it should contribute some beauty to the aesthetic with its early spring blooms. Who doesn't love a cherry tree in bloom? And it's self-pollinating, so if we get some fruit for it, then that's a bonus. And I would like to experiment and try some other trees. I'm definitely strongly thinking about the Meyer lemon tree. I know my mom has one in her kitchen, and it's been about 4 feet tall for the last 10 years. So you can get the dwarf varieties that produce regular sized fruit. So that might be a great addition. And I'm also tossing around the idea of possibly an avocado tree. But I need to do a little bit more research where you only have a limited amount of space in the center. So definitely have to choose wisely. For now, they'll just be in containers, and that might curb their growth somewhat. But I know once we unleash that fig tree into the ground, it's going to grow pretty quick. And as these trees mature and grow, they're going to do more than just provide food for us in a greenhouse. They're going to provide microclimates. They're going to help regulate the temperature, provide shade, and they will create little micro-environments where we might be able to plant shade plants, for example. When we've toured some of the larger domes that were already established, they looked amazing. They had little canopy areas where you could sit under. So I think overall, the beauty and the aesthetic is going to be top-notch. It's not just all about food. And certainly for me, this is a big experiment. We've been told by the Growing Spaces company that fig trees do the best in a growing dome, and they are quick growers, but the rest is sort of a wait and see, watch and see what works. I'm not a tree expert, I'm not a greenhouse expert, but I'm going to definitely learn a lot as we try different things. And I think one of the essential things that is cool about a dome-style greenhouse is that you do get a lot of that vertical area where you can kind of create a different canopy with trees or vines. So you'd get a different feel than just a greenhouse with tables and rows of plants. So it definitely has more of a climate or an environment feel to it. It's definitely more than just a greenhouse. Brian and I were researching greenhouses. We met someone with a similar greenhouse to ours. They had a smaller size, but they had the underground air circulation. But they were a little bit lower in elevation, and they had tropical trees growing in their greenhouse. I'm talking banana trees and papaya trees, multiples. They had a whole tropical canopy, and they had bananas and papaya fruit already on the tree. So it was very impressive. There's a lot of potential to really think outside the box, or outside the dome, if you will, with what is possible if you can control your growing environment. So what do you think? Would you try growing trees in your greenhouse? Do you think I'm crazy? Or what trees do you think I should try growing in this greenhouse? Is there anything that's a little too crazy? I've definitely looked at a lot of options. So here we are at just the beginning. And if you're curious to see how this journey unfolds with trees in a greenhouse, definitely hit subscribe and see how we can transform this grow dome into a tree paradise.
And a special thanks to Food Forest Nursery for sending us the fig and cherry tree. Check out what they have to offer in the link below the video.